Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. In this video we're going to take a look at one of my Blade Show acquisitions. This is the Lionsteel SR11 and it is a continuation of the Lionsteel Integral line or SR line that they call solid knives if you go to their website. So many years ago I picked up several Lionsteel knives. I picked up two SR1s, I picked up an SR2. I still have a few other Lionsteel knives, but I do remember when I picked up my first Lionsteel SR1, it was one of those moments, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced this, where it's kind of a next level knife. You're like, hey, this is what I've been missing, and I really, really like this. Well, that was what the SR1 was for me when I picked up my first one back in the day, and so I have eagerly awaited kind of an upgrade to the SR1 line. And when integrals started becoming a bit more, prominent on the market, and people were starting to bring them out with bearings and flippers and things like that, I had always thought that Lionsteel would be the first to the party, but they've been so busy with a lot of their OEM work that they're actually coming in towards the tail end or last to the party with an integral on bearings and a flipper. But happy to say for me, this one was worth the wait. Really happy to have picked one of these up at Blade Show. Took it right out of the display booth and was really fortunate that I was able to talk them into that on the very last day at the show. So we're going to take a look at the Lionsteel SR11. This is the titanium version in bronze. There are aluminum versions and titanium. Obviously the titanium is a bit more premium. And the titanium versions do come with this really, really nice little case here with the belt loop and so forth. Leather with felt lining or suede lining in here, but very nice presentation, and you could carry it on your belt if you wanted to. Now, since I did pick this up right out of the booth at Blade Show, I'm not sure if it should come with something else. I wasn't really concerned at the time, so if you order it from a dealer when it hits dealers in the States soon, perhaps it'll come with something else. But anyways, let's get into the specs, overall impressions, details. We will bring out a couple size comparisons. Let's start with the Lionsteel KUR here and the Lionsteel TRE. So some very, very different sizes here between these two. The KUR and the SR11 are actually fairly close. And while we've got all three lined up, this was the 2017 Overall Knife of the Year. This was the 2016 Overall Knife of the Year, and I believe this was the 2015 Overall Knife of the Year. So Lionsteel has swept it 3 years in a row, as well as picking up the Quality Manufacturing Award in 2017 as well, so they definitely cleaned house when I went this year. Let's move these out of the way, and we will grab the Para 2 here for normal size comparison. Spyderco Para 2 with the titanium scales. Alright, specs. Blade length 3.7 inches, handle length of 4.8, giving us an overall of just about 8.3 inches. The handle thickness is 0.56 inches. And then let's take a look at the width, which is certainly an important measurement for a knife this large. 1.6 inches wide in this direction here. We have it next to the Para 2, and at the widest portion, the Para 2 looks to be the same size or even a little bit wider, but obviously it slims down towards the butt and towards the top here. So it does weigh in at 6.67 ounces on my scale, and that should be the specs for the most part. It does run on stainless steel bearings. The bearings are captured, so they're not loose bearings, and then they're caged, so there are stainless steel washers on both sides of the bearings that protect the titanium. So, modern construction, captured and caged bearings. Obviously the integral handle here, full titanium, uses Schleipner steel, which is a D2 variant that the designer, Michele Pensato, or his nickname is Moletta, is very fond of in his testing and evaluation. So yeah, that should be it for the specs. Does use Torx hardware for the pivot. Deep carry pocket clip with a glass breaker. Again, I don't know if the the ones that you buy from a dealer might come with more things like an additional non-glass breaker tip like the SR1's used to. But anyways, that's it for the specs. Overall impressions, I'm really happy with it. I love the SR1. I was looking forward to them upgrading it, and I think they did a great job. It still carries that, for me, kind of the magic of the SR1, but it employs more modern building construction and deployment. So very, very cool. I hope they go back, and I hope they redo the SR1 with bearings and have, that titanium or that thumb stud with the bearings. That would be really cool. So yeah. And then they might do a mini version of the SR11 at some point. They did do a mini version of the SR1, which was the SR2, so we'll see if those come out at some point. But let's get into the specs. So just to summarize, this is a large, heavy knife. This is not this is not a knife that you throw in your pocket and you forget about it. It's wide, it's heavy, it's very comfortable in the hand. It's going to be a great user if you really wanted to beat on that beautiful satin finish. But this is a knife definitely for enthusiasts. If you want to just try it out, there are the aluminum versions, which are much less expensive. Let's talk about price. So looking at dealer prices, where at least in Finland thus far, over in Europe, the price is $300 for an integral bearing flipper knife made in Italy. So I mean, it's price competitive honestly with the least expensive knives coming out of China. The WE Knife 602, that one is also an integral on bearings with a flipper. That one uses M390 in lieu of the Schleipner, but pretty smoking deal for this type of features and this setup. The aluminum version, I believe it was like $180, so almost half the price. So if you're not want to spend $300 but you want to try it, aluminum's a great way to go. It also employs a stainless steel lock insert, so you don't have to worry about lockup. But anyways, well done, large knife, carries large, heavy, comfortable, beautifully made, lots of nice detail. Everything has been touched and rounded on this knife. There's no laziness at all. So let's take a look at it in a bit more detail now that I've kind of given you guys something, and we're already 7 minutes in. So satin finish, Schleipner steel, I believe that is the IKBS logo there, and Italy, of course. There is Moletta's logo, or it says Moletta, that's the designer, Michele Pensato. He seems to do a lot for Lionsteel aside from design. Material sourcing, testing, heat treat, a lot of things over there. So flipper tab is completely rounded, no hot spots. I've slipped once or twice, but by and large, very comfortable, very easy to flip, and the action is pretty good. Oh, that just slipped. So, very, very nice. As you guys can see, basically everything has been chamfered or rounded on this knife. No hot spots, no sharp edges. Well, the glass breaker. That does have a carbide tip as well, which is cool. So, but a lot of beautiful machine work. Let's take a look at the stop pin there, pretty beefy. So, and then they obviously rounded the tang of the blade where it makes contact with the stop pin. So, yeah. Alright. Pivot, Torx, I think it was T6, maybe T8, I don't recall right now. Stainless steel lock insert. We do have the roto block, which is Lionsteel's version of, we'll call it securing the lock bar. So you open it, you twist it, and it has this little nub that kind of comes down onto the lock bar, and that keeps it from being able to close. So a lot of people say it's an unnecessary feature, and I think it is, but this is also the most beautiful over travel stop on the market. A lot of really nice machining on that roto block. So in the past, what I would do is just Loctite this and tighten it down all the way, and it would never move accidentally on me. So cool feature. Again, I don't think anyone's really going to beat on this knife, but you never know. There's some crazy videos out there of some people just wailing on these things with hammers and so forth. You can find on YouTube if you want. There's a look at the stainless steel lock insert. There's the lockup, about, maybe 20%. Rock solid, no issues. Centering is also perfect on this one. And again, I do have a sample size of just one here, so I can't guarantee yours is going to be perfect as well, but hopefully. There's their kind of traditional bent over spring clip. Lanyard hole at the back, and a lot of nice textures and machining incorporated into the knife overall. They kind of fit the, I don't want to say stereotype, but Italians place a lot of emphasis on design and lines. You've got Maserati, Ducati, Ferrari. You've got Fox, who does a good job, and you have Lionsteel, who does a really good job on their in-house offerings. So there is a cutout so you can easily access the lock bar. No drama whatsoever getting to it. Lock bar tension is stout, but not overly strong. And ergonomically, knife is very comfortable in the hand. Here it is in my extra large hands. It's wide and it's not too thick. It's 0.56, so it's just a big, comfortable knife in the hand. And one thing we didn't talk about on the blade is this is a convex edge, as Lionsteel always does. Now, convex edges are, through stropping, you can keep it, in pretty good shape. But if you do need to reprofile, almost everyone who's reprofiled of the knives that I've seen have ended up putting a, V grind on it in lieu of a convex, because it's just really hard to do well. And it's hard to find even guys who do knife sharpening as a side business who can handle a convex edge. I remember I had difficulty with my Lionsteel back in the day. This was a number of years ago. So if you guys know of someone, be sure to put them in the comment box below so other people can find them. But some holes, in theory weight reduction, but in reality it's more of just design. So yeah. Alright, I think that's just about everything on this knife. This is the bronze titanium version from Lionsteel. These should be hitting dealers soon, or I've ordered from Lamnia in Finland many times, and they've always done a good job. So you guys can go order from there if you can't wait for it to hit the dealers in the States. But that's a look at the Lionsteel SR11. Great job, Lionsteel. I'm very happy with this purchase, which is why I coax them to give me one out of the display case. So thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, and you can follow me on Instagram for more daily content. Take care.